Hello, in this video, I will show you how you can build a B2B friendly website in Odoo. Indeed, a B2B website requires quite different configuration compared to a B2C website. Usually on a B2B website, you won't be able to see the catalog or the prices or even both without being logged in. Also, creating an account on a B2B website often requires to be validated by the administrator to make sure that you are a real company or a real partner. In addition to that, prices are usually displayed tax excluded. So here is what we are going to see in this video. So first, we will see how we can create B2B user accounts by restricting the account creation on the website, and how we can create a specific form for the user to make a request for a B2B account. Then we will see how we can hide content for non-B2B user. And last but not least, we will configure the website to display tax excluded price for the products. Okay, so first, let's see how we can restrict the creation of an account on an Odoo website. So here I am navigating on my website. And as you can see, if I click on sign in, I can see that right under the login button, I have the possibility to create an account by myself. And this is due to the fact that in my website configuration, I have activated the free sign up settings. So for this use case, actually, I do not want to see to have the possibility to create myself an account directly in the website. So to do so, actually, I have to go back to my settings. So in Odoo, website application configuration settings, I select the right website I want to work on. And here in the customer account, it is actually set as a free sign up. So it will allow any customer to create an account. So I will change it and I will set it on invitation. So now if I click on save and I go back on my website, now if I click on sign in, as you can see, I do not have the possibility to create myself an account anymore. And this actually means that from now, if I want a contact to have a portal access, which will allow him to connect and see all his documents, I will have to go back to the Odoo database and I will have to go to the contact, select the contact, click on action and grant portal access. So I will have to invite them to create their own portal account. Otherwise, it is not possible as we have set the account creation on invitation only and not as free sign up. Also, keep in mind that when you create an account on an Odoo website, you will be considered as a portal user. Okay, so and just to explain you the three general type of user we have by default in Odoo. If you go to settings, you go to user and companies group, and there you can search user type. And as you can see, there are actually three types of users. So you have the public one, the portal one, and the internal user. So internal user means that you are a real internal user and that you are paying for this specific user. A portal user is actually just someone who has created his account either using the free sign up in the website or because we have granted him the portal access. And you have the last one, which is the public user, and it is just for instance, just someone going to the website without logged in. Okay, so now that we have restricted the account creation in the Odoo website, what I want to do is to create a specific web page for the customer to make a request for a B2B account. And to do so, you first have to check if it is actually possible to create a contact using a website form. So to do so, in debug, you will have to go to the model REST partner. In the model view, look for res.partner. And here you have website form. As you can see, it is already activated. So it means that it enabled the form builder for this model. And here you also have the label action, which is at the moment create a customer. I could edit it if I want to. And basically it is the action of the submit button of the website form that will create a contact in the REST partner model. Okay, so everything is set properly. Now we'll see how to create the form to make the B2B account request. So we'll go to the website and let's create a new page. I will call it B2B account request, whatever. Okay, I click on create. And now I will create the form with the website builder. So I'm actually editing the website. And if I look for form, drag and drop the snippet. So now if I click on the submit button, I can see that as an action, I can send an email or create a customer. And this is what we have just set up by going to the REST partner model. So if I select create a customer, I can see that I have several required fields, and I can of course edit them. So now I can focus on the information I want the customer to register. So here we have the name, we have the email. Those fields are actually set as a required field. If I don't want the phone number or the company name, I can just remove it. So let's say that I don't want the phone number and I don't want the company name. I just want the name and the email. But I also want, for instance, the VAT field. So I can just click on add a field. In the type field, I can actually see all the custom fields from the REST partner model, but also all the existing fields. So I look for the VAT one, which is this one. And let's say that I want that field to be required. Because as you are asking for a B2B account, it is important that you have a correct VAT number. Okay, great. Everything is set properly. And now if I fill this form and that I submit, it will automatically create a contact in my Odoo database. But first I will add something and you will directly understand why I do that. Indeed, as it is a form to make a request to create a B2B account, I really want to make the difference between the contacts that are already in my database and the contacts that have been created using this the B2B account request form. So to do so, I will just tag the contact. So in my Odoo database, what I will do is in the contact application, I will go to configuration and I have contact tags. And here I will create a tag B2B request. I can set a color, let's say red. Okay, now I can save. And tags actually is just a field in the REST partner model. So if I go to this contact, as you can see, I have the tag field, and I can select the B2B request. What I would like to do is that every time a contact is created because it is a request for a B2B account, I want that the B2B request tag to be set automatically on that contact. So how can I do that? It is actually in the form. I can edit, and I will simply add the field, the tag field, which is an existing field. So if I go here, field, I can add a new field, and I can look for the tag one. And as you can see, as I only have one tag at the moment in my Odoo database, it is the only one which is displayed. Okay, great. And now I want that this tag, so the B2B request tag, to be automatically checked. So to do so, it is right here. If I click on that button, it is selected by default. And now, as I don't want the customer to see it, I will make it invisible. So here in the visibility option, I can just say that it is hidden. And now I can save. So as you can see, the field is not shown anymore, but it exists in the form and it is checked with the tag B2B request. Okay, so now let's see that in action. I can obviously publish this B2B account request page, and I will go to that page in incognito mode. Let's see here. Now I have my new page. I click on account, B2B account request. Okay, let's say that my name is an amazing me. Email will be test.com, and the VAT will be this one. So now I can submit. Okay, so as you can see, the form is well sent, and I am redirected to the thank you page. Obviously, you can customize this this page by default. Okay, so now let's see what happened in the backend of Odoo. If I go back in my database and I go to the contact application, as you can see, I have a new contact which has been created. And if I click on it, I can see that it has the B2B request tag. So it means that it is a contact which wants to become a real portal user. So after first check, I can see that the name is good, the VAT number exists, everything is set properly. Now the final step is actually to grant the portal access. If I click on action, grant portal access, I can click on grant portal access, and this contact will receive an email to create his portal account and create his password. So obviously, once it is done, I can remove the B2B request as the request has been validated. Okay, now let's see how we can hide elements of the website for people who are not logged in. So remember that when you navigate on a website without being logged in, you are considered as a public user. And when you have an account, you become a portal user. So the first thing we want to hide for the non-logged in users, so the public users, is the shop page. So this page. I don't want the public user to be able to reach this page as they do not have an account. And to do that, we will have to slightly change the HTML of the page. So for that, once you are on your shop page, you go to customize, HTML and CSS. So here you can see the HTML of the shop page. And now what we have to do is to add the group property on the HTML element we want to hide or display for specific user group. Indeed, with Odoo, we have the groups property which allow us to only display HTML elements for a specific user type. And as said before, there are three main user types by default, which are public, portal, and internal user. So here, what I want to achieve is that the non-logged in user can't see my product when they go in the shop page. Obviously, we'll hide the shop link in the main menu, but let's go step by step. So to achieve that, I have opened the HTML editor of the page, and now I have to add the groups property on the HTML element I want to hide. I can see that this div, starting here and ending here, is the place where all my products are displayed on this page. So basically, it is starting here and ending here, so without the header and the footer. So now let's see how can we use the groups property. On the div here, I can add groups, which is the property I am talking about. And inside the groups, I can define which group is allowed to see the content inside of this div. So here what I have to do is just write the group name. And so the first one is I want that portal user and of course internal user can see the product in my shop page. So to do so, I can write base.group_user. This group is actually the internal user. And now let's do the same for the portal user. And it is called base.group_portal. Now if I save, the only people that will be allowed to see the product in the shop page are the internal user and the portal user. Okay, so sorry, I made a mistake. I forgot the R. So now I can save. And as you can see, as I'm logged in, I can see the product in the shop page. But what happens if I connect the public user? So for that, I will open an incognito mode. I will go to my website. And if I click on shop, I cannot see the product. So, okay, so now we still have to hide the shop element in the main menu. So to do so, it is actually in the backend of Odoo. If you go to website, configuration, you have menu. Then there you can find the menu of your of all of your website. And here I have the menu of the website I am working on. And here you can see shop. And there you can just add visible groups. So you can decide for which groups the shop link will be displayed. So here I can edit and it will be visible for internal user and portal user. If I click on save and I go back as a public user, I do not have the shop link in the main menu anymore. Why? Because I am not logged in. Okay, and now we still have to improve that solution a bit. As a public user, I can still find the page if I know the URL. So if I write shop, I can see the page. So the goal here is to display a specific message to the public user to say, okay, all right, if you want to see the shop page and if you want to see our product, you have to be logged in and to create an account. To do so, we will still use the groups property, but first let's create a new page. Let's say message. You will directly understand why I do that. I don't want to add it to the menu, and let's create. So the goal here actually is just to design a specific message that we will display on the shop page for the public user. So basically what we could do, let's say like this, a header and some text. I will improve it a bit and I will change that. Let's say B2B account needed, for instance, and let's say you must be logged in to be able to see the shop page and our product. For instance, add a button to invite the user to go to the B2B account request page. Let's add a button. Let's say that it will be a primary one. And let's go to B2B account request. I can just save and I will just edit the button. Create a B2B account. So I will change the shape default rounded. Yeah. Like here. Yeah, that's better. And now what I want to do is to actually get the HTML code of this page. So if you go to customize HTML, and here you have a section and you can just copy paste this section. Now I can close, and now I will go back to the shop page. And here I go to the HTML CSS editor and I can just copy the section right here. So I can copy paste, improve it a bit. And here what I can do is to use again the groups property. Okay, sorry, I forgot to take all the code of the page that we have created. So here what I will do is I will just like add a div. So I'm just actually adding a div here. And now I have a div wrapping the two sections. And I can use the group property. So groups. Here I will just say that this div is only visible for the public user. So that's going to be base.group underscore public. Now if I save, as you can see, as I'm a portal user, I do not see the message. But what happened if I go back to the shop page as a public user, I have this message which is displayed, and I am invited to create a B2B account to see the shop page. And finally, now we have to hide the product page itself, as if my visitor know the URL of a product, he can still reach the page. So we'll do the exact same thing. I have to add group property. So as the shop page is automatically generated by Odoo with your product of your database. So we'll just go to customize HTML CSS and I can use the groups property. So for instance, here, I just want the portal user and internal user to see the product page. So I can just add the groups property right here. So I will also add portal. So it's base.group underscore portal. If I save, and if I go on that page as a public user, you can see I have a blank page. So obviously, depending on where you decide to place the groups property, it will hide more or less content of the page. Here, as I am at the top of the page, it will hide all the page. But it is interesting because, for instance, if I just want to hide this button, as I don't want, for instance, a non-logged in user to add to cart, I can basically just hide the add to cart button for public user. So to do that, I'll just have to find the add to cart button in the HTML. which is right here, add to cart, and it is inside a div. So what I can do is just hide this div for the public user. So I added the groups property as usual. Now if I save and that I refresh the page, as you can see, I do not have the add to cart button anymore. And yeah, as the previous example, I can decide to display a specific button for the public user. So to do that, I will just copy paste the button, the add to cart button, which is right here. As you can see, you have the add to cart message and it is a button. So I will just copy paste it. I will say you must be logged in, whatever you want. And I will just remove some stuff, otherwise it will still make the action to add to cart the button, which is definitely not the point. So I will remove that, the ID, and those things. Okay, now I can save. Obviously I have the two buttons as I haven't used the groups property yet. But as you can see, if I click on the button, it doesn't add the product anymore as this button. And now I will just add this URL on the button. So you must be logged in. And I will set the B2B account request page right here in the href. And obviously I will add the groups property. Make this button only visible for the public user. So that would be base.group underscore public. So as you can see, the button is not displayed anymore for the portal and internal user. But if I refresh the page as a public user, I have the you must be logged in button. And if I click on it, I am redirected to the B2B account request. Also, I wanted to show you where you can find the name of the group you want to use in the groups property. So it is actually in the settings, user and company, you have groups. And there you can type user type. And you can find the three general type of user: internal, portal, public. And let's take the portal, for instance. And in debug, you click on the little bug and you have view metadata, and there you have XML ID and you have the name of the group right here. So that's basically what I was using to display specific content for the portal user. And it's exactly the same for the internal view metadata, and you have base.group.underscore-user. Okay, and finally, let's see how we can display tax excluded prices on the e-commerce. So let's see how it is displayed at the moment. So if I go to my website, if I click on shop, as you can see, I have the tax included price, which is displayed on the website. So, and that's because if I go to configurations of my website, so configuration settings, and I look for the tax, it is set as tax included. So the easiest way to do it is actually to just click on tax excluded. If I click on save, and if I refresh, the price is tax excluded. But the thing is that as soon as you change these settings, it will be applied to all of your website. So if, for instance, you have a B2C website and a B2B website, you cannot decide for which website it will be applied. So I would only recommend to use that settings if you only have one website, either a B2B website or a B2C website, or in that case, only one B2B website. But there is actually a small trick to be able to use tax included and tax excluded price if you have two websites, and it is in the settings, user and company, and you go to the groups, and there you can look for B2. And there you have two groups, tax display B2B and tax display B2C. And so what you have to do, if you have two other websites under the same database and that you want to use tax excluded and tax included price on your e-commerce, then you will have to manually add the portal user under this group. So I'll show you what it changed. Okay, so let's connect as a portal user. Cool. So now if I click on chocolate, as you can see, the price is tax excluded. But I don't want the price to be tax excluded for a public user, for instance. So I will go back to the settings of the website. I will set it tax included. So now we are back to the first configuration. So all the prices are displayed tax included. If I refresh, the price is tax included. But for this portal user, as it is a B2B contact, I will have to add it manually to the group B2B. So tax display B2B. Here I can edit and I can add a portal user, which was this one. I can save. Okay, so obviously I will have to remove it from the B2C group. So here it was this one. I can save. And now I will add it to the B2B tax group. Okay, good. So now if I refresh the page as a B2B user, as you can see, the price is displayed tax excluded. But if I go as a public user, the price is displayed tax included.